deck, and unfortunately, Phil cannot be with us. And I want to say unfortunately because this has been one of the most exciting 2 years for myself. I've been working from KMS with Marks and Spencer before everyone, started thinking about this pandemic. And before we started the pandemic, they were swamped with customers coming to their doors, well, their emails, their chats, their phones, their SMSs online. And Marks and Spencer is one of the most amazing brands in Europe, serving all over Europe and outside Europe as well. And I had the privilege to start working with the amazing customer service team, the BI team, and Phil was our contact. He's actually head of the business and reporting and BI for the entire Marks and Spencer. And yeah, I'm going to show you a little bit of what he showed me, and I'm going to be his voice over here. And we're going to start with a little bit about Marks and Spencer. So for those of you who don't know, Marks and Spencer is one of the most prestige places to buy food, furniture, and a few other services like fashion in the UK and the entire Europe. They are very well known to have a lot of value for money as a retail. So just as an example, if you have hosting your family for the Christmas dinner, if you have a lot of guests that you really appreciate, you want to buy your products at Marks and Spencer. This is how good they are. So if you have the budget, you go there for the good stuff. And this is why you can easily understand that they are very focused on the quality of the product and the quality of the experience for all of those lines of businesses. Let's just go over them. It's about food, clothing, home, bank services, and other services as well. And for them, it's about making the remarkable, kind of experience. And when I say remarkable, it's around those 4 things. It's about better products that are on their brand. So Marks and Spencer clothing and Marks and Spencer furniture that have to be remarkable. So it's not just that they select things, they have to actually be the one that's providing them. And that's a much, much harder task. And obviously, because they're such a well-known brand, they have different types of customers, and different types of customer require different types of channels. So people would be addressing them face-to-face, but they would a lot of times go to emails and chats and all those other channels. And this is when they approached us as KMS Lighthouse, and they wanted to start with our AI services to really help them to face all the problems. Because as you can see here, it's multiple channels and it's multiple places, and it's even multiple teams in multiple kind of location. So when we met with them, they only had 3 call centers. Now they have 4 around all the areas that they support. So some of them are in-house, and some of them are outsourced in the UK, and some of them are outsourced but also sitting outside the UK, serving the entire tier 1 kind of first initial thoughts. We're talking about 6.34 million contacts every year on all channel, 365 days every year. That's phenomenal. Now you can kind of understand why they wanted our help with our AI to make everything work faster, work better, and help them to double their business, but not necessarily double how many people have to sit in those contact center. And this is where they wanted us to focus. So they have 4 pillars that help them to create that remarkable kind of experience. It's about partnering with the right people, but also having the right personnel with the right training at the desk, helping with those emails and phone calls, but also the technology to support it, and the operating model that can be flexible, grow up and down. And when we met them, this was our goal, to integrate both the knowledge and the AI part into their system. And they had a strategy for that they wanted to do. When we started in 2020, we had a great plan, but not everything was working as planned. So we started working, if you believe it or not, 5 days before everything changed in the UK. You weren't able to actually keep all your employees in your call center in one place, and that created a huge challenge for training. So if we wanted to onboard people with our AI faster, now you had to onboard them not just faster, but also remotely. And the other part, which changed everything, you can no longer go to the store. Everything moved online. And that was a really, really phenomenal moment in the partnership that we created with Marks and Spencer. And as I said, everything changed online. So all the numbers went up, and I'm happy to share some of the real numbers behind the scenes. So look at before COVID and after COVID, and it's phenomenal. So before COVID, people had the time in the red part to send white mails to the post office. They were on social, they were on email, they were on phone, but everything moved online. And when everything moved online, email doubled and social went 150%. And when that happened, you realize that all the important topics that you wanted to do face to face just had to be, now done online. And this is actually the percentage. It doesn't reflect the volumes. And that's an interesting part here. So it's not just that the number of phone calls dropped. It's that the number of online interactions grew almost exponentially. And this is why the percentage just had this kind of kick into it. And this is why they needed technology more than ever to really deliver what we can deliver. Now, as some of you probably know, we have our AI component and we have our knowledge management component here at KMS Lighthouse. And together they do the best job, but you can also, try to use them as, separate parts. And when you do that, you can gradually onboard and do it at your own pace, which was an amazing solution for them. So they had 540 contacts every month, and from them we were able to use our AI to improve, to optimize with our AI 269,000 interactions every month. Every month, this is the amount of interactions that we either improved or automated, and then 81,000 were the ones that we automated or eliminated, and those are phenomenal numbers. And when you look at the cost of sale, or you look at the contact centers themselves, we were able to allow them to reduce the cost per sale and allow them to keep their NPS as high as ever. So let me stop here to kind of explain what this means. This means that when you go to a call center, and a contact center specifically that's very, very digital, usually what you can only do is to train your people better and to rush them to do things a little bit quicker, and maybe push them to do, a few more emails every hour than you used to. But when you take AI and you don't just automate, you do 3 levels of AI like we do today, the first thing that happens is we allow them to do routing to the 4 call centers in a way that improved everything. So instead of the email waiting for their SLA in order to reach the first person in-house, instead of going to that first person, and that first person, got an email and then had to reroute it to someone else and then to someone else, we increased the way that they route to the right person phenomenally. And then on top of it, we also allowed those agents on the call center and the contact center to answer the emails better. And then on top of that, we allowed them to do automations, but also find the emails that are not relevant and were sent either wrongfully or maybe just wasting some of their time, and just closing them. And then we allow them to spend more time with customers, make more customers happy, and actually solve 1.5 complex contacts or requests during that year much better, and kind of contain them. And the idea now is we started with the AI piece, and now we're growing to other areas in the business by just implementing better and more of the features and the capabilities and the scenarios that KMS Lighthouse as a software house can bring. So we can bring the knowledge to the right point, we can bring more automation, we can bring different departments, and we're now starting to expand to different channels, different use cases, and different places in the area. And this is what great partnerships really bring, and this is why I'm so excited. Unfortunately, Phil is not here to talk about it, but this is the kind of relationship that we started building together. And only, when you do such an intimate kind of relationship, you understand the business enough to augment it all around and allow the agents not just to be automated, but in today's world, whenever an agent on the Marks & Spencer team is opening an email or a chat, we are allowing them to do their job better and respond better, get the right knowledge better, and even do some of their actions quicker so they can have more time to the complex kind of issues. And this is the three takeaways that Phil had from this. Is he wanted to make sure that when the next time he meets a technology partner, he chooses someone as a partner, not just as a vendor. Then talk to people that can show him things that doesn't know, not just implement the things that he needs, and try to push him to do things that are brave. And when you think about AI, the problem with it is that everyone wants AI, but when it comes to the nitty-gritty, you have to trust the machine to do things, and it kind of takes some of your, control away from you. You have to really be brave to do what Marks & Spencer are doing, which is to innovate with us, change all the perspective, and try to see it in a way that the machine can also help those agents. And this is what we're doing with them. This is kind of it. And I'm wondering if there are any questions, Michael, Doron.
Yeah, Boaz, first of all, thank you for sharing the story, and it was really interesting. And actually, the reason I opened the camera even before the end was that we had a question come in, and the question is, how was that process from kind of the beginning when you're speaking with Marks & Spencer's? How do they decide what was it that they were looking to focus on as kind of their main pain point? I think that this is the purpose of the question. And then somebody else has a follow-up question that I think you can take it as one. How long did that take? What was the process from beginning and working with them to going live and launching this automation?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very interesting question. So I think part of why this great synergy between AI and knowledge management works well is because we are not seeing AI as automation. We're seeing AI as a way for the entire business to be better, to provide better experience and better SLAs for our customers. And when you think about it that way, you can divide the AI capability to three areas. Number one is we want the AI to make the operation better. Second layer is we want the AI to help the agents do their day-to-day job better. And on top of everything, we want to automate only when we can provide amazing experience. And when we met with Marks & Spencer, we realized that we want to create that trust. The first thing we wanted to launch together was we wanted to make the operation better. So we launched our AI in a way that it tagged each and every email, chat, and other channels with AI with the right intent. So imagine every time a customer is emailing them, instead of that email going to the first tier and then first tier send this to finance or to other tiers or to retention team, we would then understand exactly what the customer is writing about and who is the customer and route it to each and every call center. And as you saw, they have 4 contact center. Each one have over 100 teams and each team has the right person. So that was the first thing we did with them. We automatically routed based on our AI intention extractor, and I can proudly say that we kept a very, very high accuracy rate of over 80% accuracy, and sometimes even 98% accuracy on just understanding what is this about, who needs to handle it, and what's the SLA to adjust it. So that routing system, a smart routing system, was the first thing we did. And to follow up with your second question, the time it took us to do that was from signing the contract and until it was trained, we did that in around 2-3 weeks. And that's like an insane, I think an insane number to say, because again, as you can imagine, Marks and Spencer, being the bank that they are and the retail that they are, it's very hard for them to sign, because in order to sign, they have to talk about, you know, the price and the implementation and the IT and the integration and the security. But once you pass all those hurdles, you sign, you connect the engine to the data. The engine learns so fast that we were able to just launch routing. And the reason why routing was the first thing is that the trust is the easiest when you're just routing to the right place. Again, with us, the granularity is phenomenal, is amazing, because you can say for each and every intent, yes, no, kind of like on, off. So you can say, let's route only those topics. And we created that trust with the first few intents that we launched just with routing. And after we created that trust, they just opened all the doors for us. They said, let's automate, let's augment, let's assist the agents, let's do everything. So from beginning to launch, from signature to launch, 2-3 weeks. And again, yeah. And then after that, we started with just routing and tagging, and then we went to all the amazing heavy lifting kind of things.
Great stuff, my friend. That's incredible things you guys are doing. And we also